All right, guys, today we're gonna put this RPM ESC mount and cage on our SMT10. And this is the part number. As you can see here on our SMT10, we just have it Velcro down. I think having a bracket to bolt it down to the chassis would be a lot better way to do it. So we're going to show you how we install it today. All right, so we've removed the top of the cage so we could get in here a little easier. We've taken all the Velcro tape off. You can see here there's holes in the SMT chassis where I guess the stock style ESC would mount. And that's apparently where the new ESC cage base plate's gonna go. I'm not sure if it'll go sideways or long ways, how we're going to mount it, however it fits best is what we'll do. I believe this ESC cage is specifically for this Mamba X. Has a mount to put the on-off switch on it, so we did have it mounted here. So we're going to place it on the inside, and then we'll go ahead and cut this loose and we'll see how it fits on the ESC. All right, guys, so you can see here we've got our ESC out of the truck. So we have our cage here. We're going to see how it'll fit up here on the ESC itself. So it fits on there pretty snug. See how it fits on there like that. Looks like we're going to use the screw hole here and here, and it's going to clamp the ESC down in here like that. They included the hardware here, so we'll go ahead and put these on. Pretty nice little bracket. I like to bolt stuff down anytime I can instead of using double-sided tape or Velcro, or it's always a pain in the butt cleaning that stuff off when you want to take something apart. Get gravel and dirt trapped in between stuff and it chews it all up. Alright, so that's mounted on there. So now we're going to look and see where we're going to put our switch mount, which looks like we'll put it on top just like that. So we've included the hardware for that also. It looks like you can probably do it that way or that way. I think I'll slide this in the truck and see how we're going to mount it so we can figure out how we want to orient our switch. Alright, so we're back over here to the truck, wanting to see how our ESC is going to fit in here the best. So when you're trying to figure out how to mount something, I always try to make sure my wires are going to reach the way I had them set up before. Right here our holes are lined up, but our switch is so far forward that we have two different places for our switch. So let's see. We got room to get our wires to our receiver box. My wires were set up like this before for the battery. Put my switch right here. I think that's what we'll do. We'll mount it just like that. Alright, so we have our bracket for our on-off switch mounted here. Like I said before, it's going to be about like that. That's why I figured I could reach in here and flip it on or off. The easiest for me. RPM doesn't include any of the wrenches for these screws. So I had to search around to find a really small Allen wrench that fitted. I don't know what size it was, but so we're ready to mount our switch. You can orient it either way you want it. I don't think it really matters, but it has a covered top plate that goes on. Holds it in there real secure. It will be once the screws are in it. So we'll go ahead and put our screws in there. And then we'll be ready to mount this into the chassis of the truck. It's real basic, guys, but you know, we wanted to show the product before you spent your money on it. It looks like it's really well made. I've had a lot of good luck with RPM stuff. And I think it just makes mounting it in the truck really secure and neat. And it's going to be a real durable piece. So we'll cut to where we're mounting it in the truck next. All right, so when I went to mount the ESC bracket into the chassis of the truck, if you notice here, where this like roll cage looking tubing plastic is, it's raised up. And it's higher than where this ESC would mount. So when you go to mount it, you have a gap between the base plate and the flat part of the mounting surface here, because you know the round part's hitting here. So what I've decided to do is I have some like team associated shock spacers. We're just going to use those to mount this up a little bit. It's probably a little bit thicker than the roll bar tubing, but you know it'll space this up enough so I can cinch the screws down really tight, and it's not like bowing the plastic where it's not able to hit down flush. So I just thought I would share that. It's kind of probably not that big a deal to a lot of people, but I'm kind of picky about stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and get it mounted in. Alright guys, we ran into a snag when mounting this up. So if I'm not mistaken, this mount is actually made for a slash, I think. I could be wrong, but it's not made for the SMT10. I decided to use it just because it's actually made for the speed control that I have. So when I went to mount this in here sideways, like this, the distance between the two mounting holes was not the same distance as the provisions in the chassis here. It wasn't off by much, and you know, I tried to orient it this way, and these holes are actually more narrow this way than they are from front to back. So, and that's the way I want to mount it anyways, front to back. So what I did is I just took a drill bit, and it's probably hard to see. I elongated this hole with the drill bit. Instead of using a countersunk screw, I'm just going to use a button head. I use a button head screw with a washer, and just mount it the same way, but just clamp it down that way. I just thought I would share that, but not a big deal. Not modifying the plastic too much. There's still plenty of meat on the plastic after I did that. So we'll go ahead and get it mounted up, and we'll probably time lapse that because that's not the most enjoyable thing to watch. Alright guys, so I have the ESC mounted. I think it turned out pretty good. One of the issues I found, if I'm not mistaken, where the wires plug into the ESC, I think it was marked A, B, and C, like for the orientation of the wires. I could be wrong, but I plugged the wires in the right sequence, but I don't know if maybe they're backwards. You know, like if A goes here, I'll have to look in the manual, or I can just take these screws out and lift it up just enough to see what the orientation was. It's kind of hard to see. So if you look there, you can see there's kind of a gap where I put the spacers in, where the cage is spaced up enough, where the mount is spaced up enough off the chassis where it's not laying on this round part here, which is what it was doing without the spacers. Probably could use a little bit thinner spacer, but I think it'll be okay. It's on there pretty secure. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. And with the brushless motors on these, they're so overpowered for what this truck was designed for, and I just like to have things bolted down. You can see here I've broken the cage just with an easy rollover out in the front yard. But it's going a lot faster than it was intended to go anyway. But all right, if you stuck around, I appreciate it. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.